So these matches, or this, I don't know if it's 3 matches, but this is the weekend to be shooting IDPA. So if you're on the fence and you're like, oh, I don't know about IDPA, or I don't know about this match, like, I'm telling you, man, like, this is the one to go to. If you're going to go to just one weekend of IDPA a year, one of the reasons that this is so good is because IDPA, if you're unaware, works on a point system to get into nationals. So if you go to this weekend with the night match, the RMR, and the CSC, that's 2 level 4s and a level 2. So you've got 3 points, 3 points, and 1 point. If my math is correct, that's 7. So 7 points to nationals in one weekend is pretty awesome. In addition to that, another reason that this match is, it's just an excellent representation of IDPA, or what IDPA could be. It's the stages are all complicated, but they're not so complicated that it's just ramming people's faces in the dirt. And these are excellent examples of IDPA stages that have options. One of the best things about coming away from this match, sorry, I'm still all jacked up from, there's so much dust in Grand Junction that I got sicker than a dog like the day after. So I made it through the match and the awards from everything just fine. Flight got delayed and I got sick the day after, but I am recovering now, but still a little nasally. Where was I? So the stages, one of the best things coming away from this match is that, like, I watch other people's footage of how they decided to run the stage, and I'm like, damn it. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I mean, we only get 3 minutes of walkthrough. I'm going to talk about that after I show you some of the CSC stages. But yeah, when we get 3 minutes of walkthrough, I can't think of everything, or maybe I'm too dumb and I just didn't see it. But there's several times where I was like, oh man. And it's not just the top guys. Like, there's all kinds of videos I've seen that I'm like, oh man, that was really smart. And I wish I had done that. And then there was so I did something on the CSC stage. You'll see, I decided that I was going to stand up through the windshield of the car. And the only reason I did that is because right before I was like second to go on that one. And somebody in our squad was like, can I stand up through the windshield? And the SO was like, yeah. So I think I wasted more time doing that, but the video is cool and it was easier to shoot a little bit, but I think I wasted more time than I benefited from that. But anyway, yeah, if you're going to, where I was going with all that is that if you go to one IDPA weekend, and it's like I said, it's not 3 matches, one IDPA weekend gets you 8 points. And then if you wanted to go to nationals, you can get into nationals more than likely. That's going to get you, it might not get you the best slot at nationals, but you'll get in, and then you shoot nationals, and that could be your entire year for IDPA majors if you wanted. I'm not saying that you shouldn't shoot more if you have the opportunity, that you, whatever, you get what I'm saying. But if you wanted to do that, you absolutely could. So, you know, the idea, or where this came from, the guys who thought of this, Walt and everybody in Colorado, like, hats off to you guys. Match directors, Brett Henderson, Marty Johnson, Ryan Harrigan, and I'm sorry, I don't remember, there was 3, Ben Gutierrez, and I'm blanking on the 3rd match director's name for the night match. I'm sorry, somebody let me know, but thank you. The matches were awesome. Let's take a look at the CSC stages, and I've got, like, I love this match so much that I was almost debating, like, not bringing this up because I don't want people to think that I have like a gripe or something with any of it. Like, the matches were awesome. There's a little bit of a rule thing I'd like to talk about that came up after the fact. It wasn't really a big deal for me during the match, but I do want to talk about it because I think that these things are important as we navigate new rules with the 5x5. I want to talk about that a little bit for new dot divisions, and just, are we going to update the rules in general? These are things that I think are important to talk about. So let's look at the CSC stages, and we'll come back with a little bit more about the matches. right, those are the stages from the Colorado State Championship. I shot traditional bug at that because bug optics is not yet a thing. But like I said, I wanted to talk about the 5x5. It seems like it went pretty well. So I was over there with a bunch of different guns, letting people shoot the 5x5 with different guns. The CCP gun that I brought was the my carry gun, which is the Staccato 3.6, which will fit the CCP box and the Glock 26 with the optic on it for bug optics. And we made it through the 5x5 with my Glock 26 running. So quick aside, I brought 3 Glock 26s to this match for this purpose and to shoot bug. And just before the match, I decided that I was going to get them both ported from the Glock store with the R-Cut. But I didn't really get to test them much. Like one of the slides arrived. Like literally I was waiting for the Uber to go to the airport for the RMR. And the slide arrived. So I didn't get to do much testing. So I did a little bit at the function check bay, and the sights were just all jacked up. One of the sight sets that I put on, I had taken off something else, and they were like working loose as I was firing. And I thought I finally had it figured out. Of the 3 Glocks, that I had got one put together that would work for bug division. Just so happened that morning, I was like, I'm gonna, Nick was going to the function test bay to test his gun, and I was like, I'm gonna go make sure this thing's still working. And it just started choking to death on the ammo. Like it was like seizing up, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Luckily for me, Nick was there. He had a Glock 26 with him and a 365, so he was like, here, take the Glock 26. It's the same setup that you use. I'll run the 365. So it was very kind of him to do that for me. So good in IDPA and in every other sport to have friends that are willing to help you when you are a complete idiot and do a bunch of crazy work to your guns and don't test them before a big match. So anyway, it was shooting bugs, so it wasn't that big of a deal. For the RMR, as you saw, the Staccato 4.5 ran great. I have a new barrel for that. That's ported kind of like the XC. And so that'll be cool to see how that goes. But yeah, so the 5x5, it looks like there was quite a bit of participation in that. I asked the Rackles, I love that term. I think they say racial. I don't know. I like Rackle because it sounds funny. But I talked to them, and it sounds like they got quite a bit of participation. So I anticipate some movement on that. So that's awesome. That's good news. Will it be what I want it to be? I don't know. Will it be optics and bug plus all the other things I've talked about this last year and a half? I doubt it, but it'll be cool. Whatever the change is coming, like that's what we need. We need changes in these divisions. So I'm happy to see that. Other than that, I want to talk a little bit about some of the, like I already told you what I thought was good in the match, and there was a lot that was really good with this match. And I'm not going to be critical of the match. This isn't really critical of the match per se. There was just a couple of little things that I was like, oh, that's kind of odd. So that apparently at, I don't know where, somewhere the SOs were told, hey, no personal walkthroughs, which, okay. But I've experienced this as a match director too. Sometimes if you say something that to the staff that you think is relatively innocuous, something like, hey, just be on the lookout for personal walkthroughs. We got to keep this thing moving, or something like that. And people take things differently than what you mean sometimes, or the severity of how you mean it. And so I don't know this to be true, and it could be that they meant it with all the severity that it was enforced. But there was a lot of like just hollering at people, and it's like there was a couple of times where it was like, dude's just standing there, and it's like we're trying to enforce this rule on what's in his mind. Like you can't even do a mental walkthrough because it's like, dude, I could be sitting here thinking about, oh man, I didn't take the trash out last night. You don't know what I'm thinking. So to be trying to police so far the personal walkthrough thing that we are hollering at people who are just standing here, like, come on, man. Like, that's just kind of silly and stupid. But that's a silly and stupid rule in general. So, like, there's a couple of rules that I think are just dumb. And then there's a thing on the internet about air gunning with Marcy, and I don't think it wasn't like nobody's coming down on her or anything like that. But like, the whole air gunning thing it's never really made sense to me. Like we get a 3 or 4, depending on where you're at, 3 or 4 minute walkthrough, and then we're gonna be like, but you can't put your hands up. Like that would be just, I mean, way over the top. You can look at every target, you can imagine yourself shooting it, you can even, I don't know, like point at things. I don't know where the line is between this and this, like I don't know. But you can't put your hands up. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that the people that are really good at this are really good because they like find some secret way to air gun, or that they do it in USPSA and don't here. Like that, I don't think it has any bearing on the scores or how well someone's going to do whatsoever. And it certainly has nothing to do with like defensive shooting. Like maybe it did at one point. Like maybe when, I think that at some point IDPA you could have like blind stages. And I think that would be cool, but we can't now. And so we can't have memory stages. We can't have blind stages. So the difference between I get my 3-minute walkthrough with my hands up and 3-minute walkthrough with my hands down is just absolutely nothing. So I don't understand why we get so focused on that. And I think that a lot of times it causes more problems than it solves. So like if it's some sort of competitive equity issue, like I don't see how, but we do fight about it all the time. Well, don't put your hands up. Oh, no personal walkthrough. Like, come on, man. Like if the rule were no personal walkthroughs, meaning like you as a competitor don't enter the stage area until it's time for your walkthrough, I'm on board with that. But like if I'm standing at the line and I'm looking at the targets and I'm not even walking around, if I'm just looking at targets going, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and then there and then the swinger or whatever, like shut up. It just doesn't mean anything. So to be upset about it just seems so silly to me. So that's 2 rules that we could, if it were up to me, we'd just slice them right off the top. Like we don't have to fight about this. We don't have to make this a big deal. It can just be over with. We'll just be like, air gun all you want to. It makes no difference. And I if it were up to me, I like the USPSA rule of, look, everybody gets a 3-minute walkthrough. And then while we're taping the guy who just went, if you're on deck, it's your stage. Like you get to, you can walk around to one more fault line while we're taping. You can look, you can do whatever you want to, as long as when everyone's done taping and the SO's at the back of the stage, you come back. Don't be up there, because there were people that would do it. And in that case, sure, give them a penalty if it's really that big of a deal to you. If you got to holler at every single person to get your ass back here when it's time to go, okay, I can see how that would be annoying. But also, like, most people are just going to come back when it's time to go because they're ready to go too. So I just don't see why that's an issue at all. So, and that was really the only, for me anyway. There were other people who had lots of points of consternation, but those were only the only 2 for me, because I just don't get it. Like, we get the staff all riled up about something that really in the long run doesn't make any difference. None of that takes away from that this was an awesome match. Definitely going to go back next year. This is the place to be, man. Like we said this over and over again, is that this is the real nationals. Especially, like, I know that there was a lot of people who were disappointed with nationals last year, and me being one of them. Like, I enjoyed myself, I had a good time, but it didn't feel like a nationals caliber match. This really did. So yeah, but anyway, that's all I have to say about that. We've gone on too long. If you have the time and the means, check out www.dz-214.com, where you can donate to all the vetted veterans charities that we support. And God, we don't really have anything on the horizon. Not until the Turtle Creek bug match in September, and then nationals the following week. We're kind of training through that time until then. So we'll see you then.